We have to take this whole beauty cover off to get to the simple radiator cap.
Fixity Fix!
First, I spray down these hard plastic parts with silicone, including these panel clips, the plastic panel clips. It makes them work a little bit easier. WD-40 is also an option for spraying on these first. It keeps the plastic supple so that you can pop them back in without incident. They do dry out over time. If you follow Fixity Fix, you can see this is old footage. In fact, it's from February 2020. I just never got around to mixing it into a video. Now we'll clean the radiator with a shop vac. I use the brush attachment. Not completely necessary, but I put my 4runner on jack stands for this procedure. Off camera, I removed the skid plate, but you can get in here with the skid plate on and drain it through the hole in the skid plate. Just turn this little drain plug counterclockwise until the fluid starts to flow and let it drain. It drains more quickly and more easily if you have removed the radiator cap at the top. The coolant coming out should be the pink kind. If it's not, make sure to either fully flush your entire cooling system and replace it with the appropriate coolant for a Toyota, or verify that what you have in your 4runner is indeed an all makes, all models type of coolant and is fully compatible with your vehicle. Now it's time to tighten back up that drain plug by hand, clean things up, and reinstall the skid plate. You can refill and burp, that means purge the air out of a cooling system, with most any funnel, but I find these Lyle spill-free funnels to be a time saver and a big help. They're not cheap, but they're worth the investment in my opinion. Make sure your funnel's clean on the inside, and you find the correct attachment for your radiator. In this case, it's this one. These kits come with a bunch of them, and then the right cap goes over it. You close it just like a regular radiator cap, and then you make the funnel into the adapter, push down to get a solid seal. Everything's nice and tight. You can unplug this plug to let coolant flow into the vehicle, and you can plug it when all the air stops coming out, and then return your unused coolant back to the bottle. Pretty clever. Coolant has ethylene glycol in it, and that's a poison to animals and children, so you want to be very careful. Watson the shop dog is not allowed in the shop when we're working with antifreeze. Keep this away, and keep the coolant that comes out of your vehicle away from animals and children. It tastes sweet, looks sweet, and it causes neurological damage or even death, so please recycle your coolant when you're finished. So we're going to remove the stopper. We'll fill it up with as much as it will take now. And once we've done that, we'll start the engine and let it run. I will open the garage bay door right behind the car, just so we don't build carbon monoxide fumes when we do that. That's going to let the engine run and heat up and ultimately get hot enough to open the thermostat, which will purge any air bubbles from the engine. We'll turn on the heater on the inside to purge any air bubbles from the heater core. Now we want to make sure we have the funnel filled up about a third of the way or more so that we can watch the bubbles come up, and as the bubbles come up, the air voids will be replaced with coolant. I'm gonna go grab another bottle. Believe it or not, this is the same coolant. Xerox changed their label. I'm not sure which is the newer bottle, and the parts store where I found this had two different colored bottles. I did check the catalog number and the contents, and it's all the same. Xerox Asian Vehicle Formula, specified for Toyota. And we'll start with that amount. We'll cap off this coolant for the reasons I described earlier. So the car is running. We're going to watch for bubbles coming up. We'll let the car warm up until the hot and cool gauge is right in the middle and the thermostat cycles a few times. Make sure we're getting heat in the car. We revved the engine to 2,000 RPM, held it there for a little while. All these bubbles mean the thermostat just opened, and those bubbles are coming out of the system. Exactly what we want to happen. If you drive around without doing this, you're very likely to overheat your engine because you'll get airlock somewhere in the small venturis and chambers where the coolant flows around through everything. So it's more than worth the trouble. Going back and forth between heat and air conditioning, full heat, full AC, a bunch of times, yielded some more bubbles. I'm satisfied we've gotten the air out of the system, so now we will turn off the car and go for a drive. After it cools down again, we'll check the levels of coolant and make sure everything's good. The air's all out of the cooling system. We're going to use this plug in the Lyle funnel. Plug it up. I'm going to recycle this coolant since I'm fairly certain it's gotten mixed in with some of the older coolant that's still good but still in the engine. This is my recycling jug. The line of oil at the top is just because I used the jug to recycle some oil a few days ago. It's not from a blown head gasket or anything. At least I hope not. This is hot, so gotta be careful pulling it out. The coolant levels were just fine after my test drive, so it's time to put everything back together and get on with business as usual. I typically do a radiator drain, fill, and burp about every 20,000 miles, so I don't feel the need to use the engine drain plug or do a full flush since I do this so frequently. I'll probably do a full flush around 120,000 miles just to be safe. Thank you, as always, for watching Fixity Fix. Please give this video a like if you found it helpful, and consider subscribing to our channel. See you next time.